Hey everybody, this is Monty Steed. Welcome to Star Studio. This is Rolling Out Music section. We have Wil Baptiste. How are you, brother?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing excellent. Beautiful day. Hit it, grab my ear. Truly one of my faves. How did it happen? And can you explain where you are and where your group is now?
Well, we're currently on tour right now, and I'm at the YMCA just shooting some hoops, just like getting a little workout in. And we're on tour right now. We're in where we are. It's Thursday. We're in Lexington, Kentucky. That's where we are right now. And beautiful day, man. The way that track came about, and the unique thing about this album was, is we brought the band in the studio, and we basically locked ourselves in the studio for about a week and just worked on concepts, right? Just keep threw a lot of stuff against the wall. And this kind of vibe came about. And whenever we create, I got a mic in my hand just to kind of like whatever inspiration comes up, whatever melody top line comes up, you know what I'm saying, it's there and I could just record it. So that's basically what it was. The band, we were just vibing to this little melody, and I started just kind of humming the melody, really the hook. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful day. And it kind of stuck, you know what I mean? Fast forward as we putting the album together, I kind of wrote the lyrics to it, and our producer, Phil Boudreau, and Kev and I went to the studio in LA and we refined the first verse, and really the inspiration for this song came from my kids, man. The main inspiration for this song came as I was writing this song, man. I thought about my kids, thought about how free they are. You know what I'm saying? Like my kids and kids in general, man, when they're playing, when they're having a good time, they're not thinking about anything else but that moment. You know what I'm saying? And for me, kids are like my biggest inspiration because of that. And I think a lot of times us as humans, we get lost. We forget that we are creative. We forget that we forget that little kid inside of us. And the song really was inspired by them and watching them play and thinking about how no matter what, today's gonna be a beautiful day. You know what I'm saying? My mindset is whatever's happened, whatever the world's throwing at me, man, I gotta believe that today is going to be a beautiful day. It is going to be a beautiful day. So that's the legit of it. That's where the foundation and the inspiration came from.
Thanks for that. When you think of the name of the group, for all those who haven't heard but clearly should hear and tune in and kind of tune up their own instruments, two brothers playing black violins. I mean, it's a movement, but where you are right now, what should our cultural identity be when we actually see individuals like yourself, you know, at excellence?
Um, I hope that when people see me, they see someone that is incredibly free, that knows that he belongs, and wherever he goes, wherever I go, no matter what city I'm at, no matter what stage I'm on, no matter what YMCA I'm at, whatever grocery store I'm at, I belong here. And I hope that everybody that sees me perform on stage, they can grab a little bit of that and understand that wherever they go, they belong. You know what I'm saying? And and it's very different because growing up playing classical music, you can feel, particularly for us, you know what I'm saying, black dudes playing the violin and viola, I've definitely felt like an outsider. You know what I'm saying? I've definitely felt like, man, what am I doing here? You know what I'm saying? And I thank God for hip hop. Hip hop gave me that courage to be like, listen, hey man, just do what you do. You know what I'm saying? This is your world. You know what I mean? Fast forward years later, we're touring the world doing what we love, and we're very unapologetic about it. I'm gonna do what I do, and it's bigger than us. You know what I'm saying? It's bigger than just these two individuals. It's like we got these kids watching us. We got these individuals looking at us, and we have a responsibility. We don't take that lightly. So And that's the thing, man. And I'm gonna continue to do it because it's necessary, you know. I do think representation is necessary, and understanding whoever you are, wherever you're from, you belong. Just move with integrity, you know what I mean? And allow the maker to guide you, you know?
Right. So when I listen to the music, there seems to be a tradition that we may have forgotten that, we've played violins before. And we shouldn't be shocked that you're bringing a tradition that is ours back to stages that may have just begun to invite us back to stage.
Right. I mean, that's with a lot of things, right? You know, we're not properly educated. You know, we don't necessarily know the nuances of not only instrument but cultures and things that are always, you know, I think of something like hockey, for instance. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't know that, you know, black folks started that. But I think it's just important that the world understands the value of everything. And I think the idea of supremacy needs to die. You know what I mean? And I think even classical music as a culture, as a genre, has had this supremacy type of energy for a long time. And I think that needs to die. You know, I think though you may not like whatever genre or whatever culture that is, but it's something that exists and it's something that is given that culture life, you know, has prolonged that culture for as long as it has, and it deserves to be celebrated, whatever it is, you know. And I do think at the end of the day, we innately have this thing inside of us that's striving to do good, right? You know, I really do think that we all see it, but we get in our own way, man. We get in our own way. We get in our own thoughts, thinking that we better than whatever, and we forget about the person next to us. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's important that we destroy the notion of supremacy as it relates to anything, music, culture, whatever.
Yeah. No, it was beautiful. I obviously went to see the movie Sinners, and obviously they're talking blues, but just listen to even how you approached. I didn't feel like I wasn't listening to a violin. I definitely knew that, but truly stereotypes. All of a sudden, I felt like you got this collaboration with Layla. I could hear Robert Glasper coming in, and you guys getting on stage and kind of like smashing that up. And then I could hear Terrence Martin and you actually doing this whole take our value proposition of who we are to another level in a smash up. So culturally, how are you smashing this all up and really making a vision and I feel like a highway for us to have a higher level of thought, even in the music sonically, that we begin to train our ears to listen to, even for a moment in time.
You just mentioned a lot of great individuals, man. We were blessed to collaborate with Lila Hathaway, and again, I think is we, you know, we're so diverse. There's so much when it comes to the culture, and I think, but we're conditioned. You know what I'm saying? We've been conditioned for so long, and I think what I do, and when I get on stage, what I strive to do is provide a little bit of a glimpse of what's outside of what we were conditioned to think of blues, you know? And I think as a culture, it's crucial that we continue to ask questions, continue to search, and continue to move in that direction of finding our true selves. Because I think in a world where culture is dominant, I think a lot of times we can lose ourselves, you know, because it's because culture, the dominant culture, that don't necessarily mean it's right. You know what I mean? And I think it's important that we find who we truly are, man, find ourselves, because there is something in us that is placed. This is what I believe. I believe that there's something inside of us that is a void, so to speak, that is placed in us for a purpose. And I think we have to be careful what we fill that void with. And it's very crucial that we continue to search within ourselves and fill that void with the thing that is, it's like a puzzle piece. You can't just fit that piece with just anything. You know what I'm saying? And when you fit it with the right thing, you can't help but to jump for joy. You can't help but to wake up in the morning. It's a beautiful day. You know what I'm saying? No matter what. You know what I mean? So I feel like the culture definitely needs that because we're, I don't want to get too, too political or anything, man. I just feel like in a lot of ways, man, we're losing ourselves, man. And I think we gotta go back. We gotta get back or just discover our true selves once again. And there's no perfect person, there's no perfect way. I just think we just can't settle no more, man. We can't just sit back and just settle for whatever the world and the culture's giving us. If it don't feel right, don't vibe, don't go to it. You know what I mean? And for me, as I'm on stage, I am 100% who I am. I was created by the creator, you know what I'm saying? And I'm created in his image. So I'm going to project that no matter where I'm at. And hopefully the world and the audience will grab a piece of that. And hopefully with that, they don't see me, but they see themselves. I don't want you to watch me and perform, be amazed of what I do, and you try to like look at me as like I'm some this. I don't want you to see me as this person. I want you to see yourself. I want you to see me, and hopefully my energy is projected into you, and you can see yourself, and you can see your true self.
With A flat, when you're sitting there listening, because what I was enjoying sonically, obviously I saw two brothers violins, not necessarily shocked, but in listening to it, I felt like it was offering me a new roadway and a new highway to a higher level. I'm not saying it was your responsibility to tell me where I was going, but I did believe that you were creating a more sonically beautiful and spiritual highway for me to be able to ride on, even when I was listening to A flat. Why is it important for us to be able to hear music and sometimes just gravitate to the emotion and the spiritual journey that it takes us on without any lyrics at all?
It's important. I think we underestimate the power and just the sonic energy, right? We underestimate. We think that a song you need words to tell that story. I think a story, as long as it's like a sonic energy, a story can be told, And a lot of times a lot of us just don't have experience with that, right? We don't have experience. When I was young, I didn't have experience listening to jazz or anything like that. So all I knew was what I was given, and which was a lot of reggae, a lot of calypso, a lot of just, lyric stuff. So I gravitated to that. And I think exposure to these type of genres and music will open people up to hearing things because you're gonna feel it. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna there's no words, but I'm saying something and you're gonna feel it. That's the beauty of music, man. That's the beauty of it. You know what I'm saying? Words are not necessarily, it's not needed if I'm, because I can play something and I'm projecting this sad energy, and it gets you it's forcing this reflection within you. Or I could play something that's a bit more aggressive that gets you hyped, gets you going. You know what I mean? So definitely something like A flat, it's very cinematic, very energetic. It's hype. The energy is big. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, Rocky. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to take on the world. You know what I'm saying? So that's the energy. And we've had records where the other single, Smoke, where it's just a complete instrumental. There's a little choir here and there with them oohs and ahs, but for the most part, it's just me playing the viola. It's just an instrumental, and it gives you that like that just that jazz club. Just you got your cigar, you got your whiskey, just relaxing, just reminiscing, thinking about the world. It's so definitely there's some value in that. And again, I think what we're doing is showing people the other side of what that means to hear something and feel something without any words.
Well, Will, I look forward to us catching up again. Beautiful representation. I'm having a beautiful day based on just being able to vibe with my brother, hear him mention both family and love and the beauty of our community, and us clearly continuing to be stewards of good vibes and good energy being put in the universe. So thanks for taking time to be on Star Studio and rolling out music. We look forward to catching up with you again as you guys are moving around the world, and look forward to catching up with you in person. But yeah, big ups. Beautiful day was great, but I thought A flat took me to a decent level. I just Sunday went out and hung out at the Alice Coltrane exhibit, and I think sonically, you guys gave me a huge vibe on enjoying where you were taking me as well. So thank you so much for taking the time to spend time with Rolling Out.
Not a problem, man. Thank you for having me.